Beacon to the 505 with by Beacon Marketing. My name is Roger Gallegos. I am the founder of Beacon Marketing. I am here with Andre Prince, Martin Ward from Andre's Royal Touch. Before we get to Andre and Martin, I just want to introduce you guys to the premise of these videos. These videos are to help promote local businesses, not just during the pandemic, but during anytime, because I believe, and it is Beacon Marketing's belief, that local businesses, small businesses, are the backbone of any community, the backbone of any economy. We add diversity, we add jobs, we add opportunities where they otherwise wouldn't be. So we are firmly believe this, and this is why we're doing this video series, to help highlight people in the community. So that said, I want to formally introduce Andre and Martin. Thank you so much, guys. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good. Doing really good. Doing good. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Not a problem. So, for those people who may not know Andre's Royal Touch, why don't you give our audience a brief introduction to what you guys do?
So here at Andre's Royal Touch, we specialize in prime steak and seafood dishes, specifically Cajun style. So that's what you'll find here. Lots of crab legs, lobster tails, steak.
That sounds good. That sounds good, especially here at a lot of steak. I mean, I never grew up with that stuff. I grew up with enchiladas and burritos and beans. Same
as me. Same as me. Frijoles and a lot of tortillas all day.
Exactly. So, what made you guys think that like a steak and crab legs and Cajun stuff would work here in Albuquerque? What was the impetus for you guys to say, let's get this going?
Because there's a lot of tacos and burritos here. I figured they might like something a little different, and they love it. They love the seafood.
So what made you guys get into the business? Like, how did your guys' partnership come together?
It came together. I was working. I started the company. Started selling food 2017, and we had proof of concept. With that being said, it was just perfect timing. Martin came in and he assisted me, and we came together and put together a solid plan, and here we are.
That sounds good. Now, I see, I think that this works really well during the time of the pandemic. But you guys aren't just a restaurant, you do catering as well. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what kind of parties do you guys usually do, or do you guys look to do? Big, small, in between?
We doing everything from large scales. Also, and when we first started, when I came into the mix, we started doing stuff for the movie, for the studios and some of the networks. We did stuff for Netflix and NBC for specific shows that come into town. That's kind of where the ball was really rolling, because he was already doing amazing things with the delivery, and then we're just like, okay, we could step it up a notch. And so it really doesn't matter when it comes to that. Any style of food we could execute, whether it could be Japanese, it could be Chinese, it could be soul food, vegetarian, whatever the concept is, we execute it extremely well.
Oh, that's great. I love that idea. So for you guys, and I know you guys are correct me, how long have you guys been in business together, been doing this?
It's going to be just for the year.
For 1 year. So how you guys been successful? Because my restaurant experience is way back when I used to wait tables and bartend a little bit, but I always know that heard it's a very tough industry. So, and many restaurants fail within that first year. And you drive around Albuquerque long enough, you see places that open and close pretty quickly. What has been you guys' success or secret to success in getting to that first year and continue moving on even during the pandemic?
I think it's him. When he first started off, it was focusing on the marketing, the one-to-one marketing with the consumer. Not necessarily focusing on the foot traffic itself. It's just creating a relationship with the individual one-to-one through social media. And I think when just by touching that aspect, it allows people to have more of I would say more of an intimate perspective of what we're delivering. So it means a lot more than just going to your average fast food restaurant or anywhere else and getting your food and leaving. They have a relationship. They get to see not only like what we're doing, and they have to get to see what he's doing. And and I think for the people in the community, I think the biggest thing is having something that's more accessible and not so pretentious and to say. And so with the style of food, a lot of these individuals and these people, you know, that in our clients that would come here, would go to other places, they expect a certain type of service, and we're delivering more of a home style service and that one-to-one. So I think that's the biggest thing right there, and just creating that alone.
That's great. One of the things I noticed in your guys' questionnaire that I asked, that I sent so I could get to know more about the business I interview. Uh, I love your answer to what does your business do? It says restaurant and catering as well as community hub for the positive. I love that answer. To me, that's great because you have that community hub for the positive. Especially now when things are tough and everybody seems to be angry or upset or hurting. What does being positive mean for you during a time like this?
Just keep pushing forward and always be optimistic that things will get better, and just continue to make great food so that everybody's, happy.
And also just being able to have a space to where individuals within the community could feel free. And there's a lot of organizers that support us as well. And with having that situation, for them to having a space that they could come in here, and we do like I do a lot of donation-based type of stuff where I allow, for whether the food that we give or the people that come in, allow them to be able to speak, and to, with other people in the community, and for them to utilize a space, not just for the idea of the restaurant. It's the idea of just feeding people, like, their minds and their souls. You know what I mean? I think that's the big thing.
No, I love that idea. Now, I had a question here. So what do you who do you guys, in terms of your I want to go back to the catering. Who would you say is your ideal catering client? So someone's thinking about what they want for a party. What considerations do they look at in terms of hiring a caterer? So would you guys say this is the type of client that we like to have?
I think everybody, I think when it comes down to it, is just being able to serve everybody within the community in a way that, in a way that is consistent. And I think as long as we have the opportunity, are you there? Are you there? Okay.
Yeah. Technology.
Yeah. So, and I think it just being able to be accessible for everybody in the community. So whether you're having a party, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'll fix it my end. So don't worry about it.
Okay, that's all good. Yeah. So give me a quick second, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're just gonna slide over here. Slide over here really quick. Okay. There you go.
I just switched cameras on mine, so it's not going to be as crisp, but we'll make it work.
Okay, definitely. Yeah, and I think the main thing is just making sure that we're accessible for everybody in the community, and that's pretty much. It's not one style of client. I think when it comes down to, is just being able to be in a position to be able to cater for all walks of life and all cultures. So that's what we really want to focus on doing.
So how are you guys getting by now during the pandemic? Like, what's your guys's main need right now, so people see this during the pandemic? How's the best way that they could support a business like yourself?
Well, I think the biggest thing right now, in the beginning of the pandemic, we were absolutely insane. We were doing incredible. But after a lot of the situations, when it came down to the last month, when after George Floyd and that situation that happened, our spot we took a hit, because we had a lot of the community organizers, a lot of the youth and the people in the community that were supporting us. And unfortunately, as soon as the protests and that thing took place, our position dropped. And a lot of that has to do with the accessibility in the region and where we're at. We're not in the right now. We're not in the easiest place to get to in Albuquerque. And I would also say it's not as the best way I can say it is we know how the majority of Albuquerque is, but we're here in Nob Hill. So the people within Nob Hill, they're not necessarily as welcoming to us as the people in the community in our surrounding area. So we've been kind of dealing with backlash from some individuals in the community that don't necessarily like our brown presence.
I'm really sorry to hear that. That should not
That's
happen.
the best way I can say it without sounding like trying to offend somebody.
We wanted to dig much deeper into specifics, but while we're on that topic, one of the reasons I wanted to do these video series, and in particular, for those who may not know, I'm working with Teresa Carson from the Albuquerque African American Chamber of Commerce to do these videos, and her and I connected after the murder of George Floyd and the protests, because I wanted to see what I could do. I wanted to educate myself, because I'm Hispanic myself, and I know the things I know about Hispanics and the discrimination I face, but I can't say that outside of knowing that it exists for Black-owned businesses. I didn't know that. I don't know enough, and I needed to educate myself more than just doing a black box on Instagram or whatever. So I reached out to Teresa, and her and I had some very productive conversations. That one of the things I could do is to help promote Black-owned businesses. So that's something that I want to do. But I also wanted to give you guys an opportunity to speak on social justice issues, where you guys see protests and the ideas of what people are saying out there, and essentially how can we get a better place without hate. So the floor is your guys'. Enough of my soliloquy there.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, really, the whole situation, when it came down to it, we were extremely successful, and we had pretty much the youth in Albuquerque area frequently here consistently. They're here all the time. After a specific individual, one of my good friends, and he's also an incredible activist when it comes to social justice, criminal reform, and prison reform, to be exact, and his wife, Celinda. They work with Meals for Prisoners. They also do Albuquerque Mutual Aid, and the day that they were doing a protest, I stepped outside and I had my entire block surrounded around by police officers, and so they were actually looking for Clifton. And the night before that, he was doing a rally, and they did a rally, and they're doing not a rally. They had a protest downtown, and it was a peaceful protest. And somehow, I don't know what really happened. He didn't do anything on that level. He's an amazing guy, but as far as I see it, in my perspective, is that he was stolen. He was out on parole, but the violation that they try to give him for being an incredible individual, it was absolutely ridiculous. I can't really speak on the situation, but I do know is that they got him over at the Bird, the alcohol spot, and there was a bunch of cops, and they hit him. Meantime, they were actually in front of this building, and I'm pretty sure that they were anticipating him being in this building, and so they're trying to do, as you call, like a choke. And when they did that, I believe that the way it worked out is that they had quite a few trucks that were parked across the street from our restaurant, and they were a lot of those, like I don't know who they were, but they were opposite of the Black Lives Matter movement and the people of color who are trying to be able to make a change. And so I seen a lot of trucks and crosses, and they're like lined up to maybe like 15 trucks. And meantime, I'm blocked in by the police. After that day, that's when they got Clifton. I went outside and I asked him, like, what's going on? Why are you in front of my place? First thing they did is they said, you got to stay inside. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Oh, okay. So I was so happy to be with my cousin, and they let him leave because he's a light. He would pass for a white guy, definitely, but he's Hispanic. So they let him go, and when they let him go, I already knew this is crazy. And then they told me I had to stay for 20 minutes longer while they were surrounding my building. When they apprehended my man Cliff, that's when at that moment I had this feeling in my heart where I was like, these guys are here for the purpose of, I felt like, to spark a bigger situation when it came to the Black Lives Matter movement, because we're in the middle of Nob Hill in a very specific area. And I kind of felt like the situation was being antagonized to bring the protesters up this direction. Meantime, when that happened, they had the whole area filled up with the bunch of trucks and big old Confederate flags and American flags and crosses in the back of the truck. And I thought, and it was actually a horrible situation just to even see that. I was actually in awe. I was like, what the heck is going on? So the cops completely leave. As soon as they all bounced and they started blurping, they went down to the protesters. As soon as they left, they released all the trucks, and all the trucks from the good old, those individuals came down. And that's when I started seeing the flags, I started seeing the crosses, I seen the trucks and the guns. And after that day, I'll say that our clientele, the people have not been frequenting this area much. Which is, just what it is. That's pretty much what happened. Even for people in the community, they still utilize the place, especially when we're able to be open and just to have small groups inside of here. We're able to have little small meetings that were like social distance meetings, and working with people in the community. And that's pretty much been the only time we've actually been able to fill the space. But before that, we were completely frequented by everybody in the community. And I kind of feel that after that situation, the people, the youth, the leaders, and they're pretty much, they're overwhelmed and preoccupied with the state of our country to even be able to actually even support the places that are really Black owned. Because at this point, it's like I think people are just wary regardless, on all sides of life. But definitely right after that situation and the protests kept going and going, our numbers completely dwindled. So right at now, our main focus is just trying to find a way that we could get more awareness to what we do here and what we're trying to do and what we really support, and hopefully be able to bring that flood of the people back inside of here, which would be amazing.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that's happened. That does not sound right. It does not sound fair. So hopefully this video and other things that we could do could help generate some more traffic and more word of mouth and buzz for you guys. So right now, are you guys doing stuff like takeout, or do you work with a delivery service like Grubhub or DoorDash or anything like that?
We do takeout, and we also offer delivery services.
Oh, awesome. So for anyone who's interested in takeout, catering, or delivery, what's the best way to get in touch with you, and how can someone check out your menu?
They can give us a call at 505-305-9515, or they can go to our website at andresroyaltouch.com, send us an email. They can also view some menu options on there as well. And they can also text, and we can send them our daily special as well.
Awesome. So I'll make sure to put that stuff in the description of the video below, so anyone who's watching this on YouTube, they could check it out, and make sure to share it also in the messaging for this video. But that's all that I have, guys. Thank you so much for sharing your guys' story, your perspective on the issue surrounding it. Again, I'm sorry to hear about the struggles that you guys are facing in terms of getting your audience back, and I'm hoping that we could get you that audience, because you guys have a great perspective on the business and on the community. So I really want to make sure that you guys get that back. So thank you so much.
Definitely. And straight up, I just want to say thank you to you, and we want to give a shout out to Albuquerque Mutual Aid and all the good people that are out there still supporting the community, thick and thin. To Celinda, to Arthur, and all the good people that are out here. And that's pretty much it. Just love.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Check them out. Well, thank you to our listeners and to our viewers. Talk to you later.
All right, peace.